Have you ever wondered what an appraisal was? Like you've heard the term, but you weren't quite sure exactly what it was. Is it the same as an inspection? Like who does it? What exactly is it? Well, a lot of people ask that same question. So an appraisal is simply the opinion on the value of something. So in this case, it is a third-party opinion on the value of the house. So we as the listing agents and the buyer's agents are determining what we think the value of the home is. You as the buyer or the seller have an opinion on what the home is. This is the bank getting a third party to say, are they wrong or are they right? The appraiser is going to look at the condition of the home, what features it has, stuff like that, location, school district, zip code, if it's on one side of a busy street or the other, that can make a difference. If there's experts in that area, they'll know those things and they'll compare other houses to this one to determine what they think the value is going to be. It's different from an inspection because an inspector is actually looking at the condition of the house and pointing out all of the flaws or issues or things that need to be addressed. The appraiser is looking at the overall value of the home, and they're not like going through every little thing that's wrong with it or anything like that. They're just looking at it as a more macro level. The bank is the one who orders the appraisal. So you don't have to do anything with the appraisal. The bank will take care of that. And they're going to order the appraisal, and they're not allowed to choose the appraiser. So they send out the appraisal request out into the appraisal world, and somebody picks it up. If you have some lenders will have a smaller pool of appraisers who specialize in different neighborhoods. Others may just throw it out to all appraisers and say, whoever wants this can have it. So that is one way to judge whether a lender is good or not, is if they have local specialist appraisers that they always work with. Now, they can't choose the actual human who does the appraisal, and the reason for that is, back in 2006, 2005, when things were going crazy, there would be lenders and appraisers and real estate agents who were all in cahoots together who would drive up prices of homes. And basically the federal government said, we can't have any more of that. So you don't get to know who's going to do your appraisal, but somebody's going to. The person who pays for that, of course, is you, the buyer. So because it is something that the bank requires, and because you, the buyer, are getting the mortgage, then you get to pay for the appraisal. It is scheduled by the appraiser. So what they're going to do is the bank requests the appraisal. Somebody says, yes, I'll do it. Then they call the listing agent and get that scheduled. The buyer does not need to be there. In fact, they are not going to be there. The seller doesn't even need to be there necessarily, because the appraisers can get in through the lockbox often. So if the seller is there, you might be able to point out some key benefits of the house or anything like that. Some agents will actually take packets to the appraiser with the comps that they used to determine their price, any special information about the house that the appraiser should know. It's got, these special upgraded windows or this heated floor, or, just little things like that that could raise the value in the appraiser's mind. And that's especially important, if everyone's concerned about the value that the appraisal may come in at. The appraiser that comes out is chosen because they're qualified to appraise for that specific loan. So if it's a conventional loan, that's pretty much all appraisers can do those. If it is an FHA loan or a VA loan, they have to be qualified or certified to do those specific loans. So FHA is probably going to be more, and then VA is going to be more of a specific subset. The VA loan is a little more stringent. They also that appraisal cannot be waived. It is not optional. And that is why in a strong seller's market like we have currently, VA loans are not always preferred, because one of the ways that people are winning right now is to waive the appraisal. And I will talk about more of that in another video. What happens if the appraisal comes in low? If the appraisal comes in low, assuming you have the appraisal contingency in place, the buyer's agent is going to ask the seller's agent to ask the seller to lower the value of the house to that appraised value. The point of the appraisal is that the bank is only going to lend you as much as the house is worth. So if the house is worth $500,000, you're putting down $50,000 on that, they're going to loan $450,000. Well, what if the appraisal comes in at $450,000? You're putting down $50,000. Now they're only going to loan you that $400,000. So you need more money. So if something like that, that's an extreme example, but if something like that happened, you would ask the seller, hey, you need to lower the price to $450,000 because I can't get a loan otherwise. There are ways to get around this. You can either pay the difference. If you're the buyer, you can actually pay that difference between the appraised value and the purchase price if you would like, because you really, really want the house. You think it's gonna, increase in value quickly. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, or you're gonna be in it for 30 years, so you don't care. Sometimes that could be worth it. Sometimes you can negotiate with the seller and maybe split the difference, or one person pays some of it, the other one pays another of it, or, lowers the price some, but then you pay the difference. Things like that can be done as well. So hopefully the appraisal doesn't come in low. Hopefully it comes in at value. Sometimes it even comes in above value. And I always say that that is happy and instant equity day. I've actually had some buyers get some pretty good size equity out of appraisals when they came in really high. Because remember, an appraisal is still just an opinion. It is a mix of art and science. There are certain things that appraisers look for that they will adjust for in like specific dollar amounts. But other things, like, it's kind of up to their judgment as to what they think something is worth or not worth, or, this house specifically has this and that makes it that much more valuable. So again, it's an opinion, which is why sometimes you have low, sometimes you have high. I've had houses where we've had a low appraisal, we've gotten a second appraisal, it's come in back up above value. I've had another house where the appraisal came in low. We all thought they were wrong, so we got a second appraisal, and that one came even lower. You just never know. So appraisals can be a little bit of a crapshoot, which is a little bit scary for people, but your real estate agent should be able to give you some idea if there's concern about that or not. If you do have that appraisal contingency in place, it will protect you in case this happens. But basically, that is what an appraisal does. Let me know if you have any questions. Check out the next video if you want to hear more about the appraisal contingency and how the appraisal contingency can be used to win bidding wars.